Well, happy Saturday morning to you. We're on day 16 of Pray the Psalms. Today we're going to look at Psalm 51. This is a prayer, a psalm of confession from David after he was confronted by the prophet Nathan. You can read about that in 2 Samuel chapter 12. We know what David did. He had relationship with Bathsheba. She got pregnant. She was married. To cover up the pregnancy, he had her husband killed. Quickly, the sinful actions progressed beyond what David probably could ever have imagined. He found himself in a place that he never thought he would be. That's where sin always takes us, to a place we never thought we would be. So let's read Psalm 51 together as we consider our own prayers of confession. Have mercy on me, O God, because of your unfailing love, because of your great compassion. Blot out the stains of my sin. Wash me clean from my guilt. Purify me from my sin, for I recognize my rebellion. It haunts me day and night. Against you and you alone I have sinned. I have done what is evil in your sight. You will be proved right in what you say, and your judgment against me is just. For I was born a sinner, yes, from the moment my mother conceived me. But you desire honesty from the womb, teaching me wisdom even there. Purify me from my sins, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow. Oh, give me back my joy again. You have broken me. Now let me rejoice. Don't keep looking at my sins. Remove the stain of my guilt. Create in me a clean heart, O God. Renew a loyal spirit within me. Do not banish me from your presence, and don't take your Holy Spirit from me. Restore me to me the joy of your salvation, and make me willing to obey you. Then I will teach your ways to rebels, and they will return to you. Forgive me for shedding blood, O God who saves. Then I will joyfully sing of your forgiveness. Unseal my lips, O Lord, that my mouth may praise you. You do not desire a sacrifice, or I would offer one. You do not want a burnt offering. The sacrifice you desire is a broken spirit. You will not reject a broken and repentant heart, O God. Look with favor on Zion and help her. Rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Then you will be pleased with sacrifices offered in the right spirit, with burnt offerings and the whole burnt offerings. Then bulls will again be sacrificed on your altar. So we really see David. He's broken by his sin as he comes to this place of confession. And we know this about confession. Um, it's never easy. It's never easy to face the truth of what we've done and where we find ourselves because of that. It's never easy, but it is absolutely necessary. We know that God is righteous and cannot be around sin. And when we sin against him and we do not confess it for him to forgive us, we are breaking the relationship. It's hard to be in the right spirit with God when we have unconfessed sin in our life. But our human tendency is to do what David did, to start down this little rabbit trail of making a bad decision and then try to cover that up a little bit. We make another one, we make another one. And the next thing you know, we're in this huge mess that's beyond our control, and there's nothing we can do. We find ourselves where David did, broken, because that's what sin will do. It'll break us. And that's never a good place to be. If David would have just confessed his sin when it was just lust of the eye and did never approach Bathsheba, think about the actions and the damage that would have been eliminated in their lives. The life of her husband Uriah, who was killed, the child that was born and died because of the sin. I mean, just the pain that's associated with it. So we have to be able to come to God and confess to him. We have to understand that our sin, as David writes, is against you and you alone. I have sinned. Our wrongdoing is against God. There's no victimless sin, there's no victimless crime, but first it starts with God. And oftentimes, if not all the time, our sin not only is against God, but it's against somebody else. Because even if it's a sin that's private to me, that nobody would ever know about, nobody would ever find out about it, it negatively affects the relationships I have, first with God, then with the people that I love and care for. Sin has that effect on us. It hurts us and other people around us. So oftentimes we start with confession to God, but it may require confession to another person as well, to apologize to them for what we've done. Notice what David said, and I hope you're doing just some general observation, circling, underlining words, because if you do that and you read it a couple of times, you'll start to see things that kind of jump off the page at you. But I noticed in verses 9, 10, and 11, 12, he says these words. He says, remove the stain of my guilt, renew a loyal spirit, restore to me the joy of my salvation. This is what sin does. It stains us with guilt. Immediately we feel guilt. We immediately feel guilt. Our spirit, that loyalty that we had to God, is broken because we have been disloyal to him. We have done things that are against his ways. And our salvation, the joy of our salvation, that joy that we have, is damaged because of our sin. And only God can restore it. So we need to be able to come to God broken and say, God, please remove the stain of my guilt. Remove this guilt from me. None of us want to feel guilt and shame. God can remove that. Renew a loyal spirit within me. Help me to be as loyal to you as you are to me. And then restore the joy of my salvation. Sin robs us of our joy. It robs us. Takes it away from us. He says in verse 17, the sacrifice you desire, God, is a broken spirit. I've been there, you've been there, where our sin has had us in a place where we are broken. We can no longer run. We can't cover it up anymore. There's nothing we can do. We are helpless and broken. And for many of us, it's not until we're completely broken do we allow God to come in and start rebuilding. Hopefully, the conviction that we feel if we're followers of Jesus from the Holy Spirit from that initial decision is strong enough that we don't even pursue sin, that we understand its temptation and where our weaknesses are, and we turn away from it. But we fall. We're human. And when we start down that trail, may we not get to the place where we are completely broken. May we quickly see that we are being disloyal to God, that we are being robbed of our joy, and that the guilt is staining us. And may we quickly confess to God then that we are wrong, so that he can begin that process of restoration. So prayers of confession are never easy. They're never fun. We know that. But they're absolutely necessary. And thankfully, we have a God who has great compassion, who can wash us free from guilt, who can purify us. He recognizes it, right? He waits for us. He is just, but he forgives. And our spirit is restored, and our relationship is restored. So let's not run from God when we sin, but let's run to him and get through the hard part, the humbling experience of confession. It's the right thing to do every time. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Hope you'll worship with us as we go live at 10:09. I'll see you then.